Hello.
Hi.
This is We Need to Talk.
Yep.
I am Jasper.
I'm Quin.
I have never read the Bible.
I have.
That's it.
It's the whole thing.
That's the whole show.
That's it.
He's going to read it to me, and I'm going to react the way a normal person should. I feel like that doesn't happen often enough. When, nigga, does that become the fucking case?
So chapter 5.
Okay, here we go.
Moses and Aaron go to Pharaoh.
Aaron's his wife.
Aaron is his brother.
Moses has a brother?
Yeah. So it actually mentions it in this book that this story is like violently out of order.
Cool.
Do you remember the part when Moses sees the boning? This is not a Catholic story. Moses sees the burning bush, and God's like, "Hey, your brother's gonna help you," and it literally says, "Oh, here's your brother." Like apparently, the part when God calls on Moses' brother happens after, like before, but after that, it's this weird like Tarantino thing where it doesn't make any goddamn sense at all. Last week we were talking about Moses' age because you have the years in your in Big Boy.
Big Boy, yeah.
You're trying to figure it out. This one actually lays out his age right here,
Oh, shit.
so it's actually super helpful.
On a little tiny graph.
Yeah,
I like that.
So, when he was 40 years old, that's when our math was right. When he was 40 years old, that's when he killed the Egyptian and ran away.
If the fact that you just said our math was right means now we're officially Bible scholars.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I will take that title.
Because we did real
We Need
math.
to Talk, brought to you by Bible Scholars. Officially Bible Scholars.
Officially. I feel like at this point I could say I'm a Bible
Oh,
expert.
yeah. No, I know.
I mean, not 10,000 hours, but like
No,
we're
like
gonna.
Genesis expert.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Genesis.
No, let's
Actually,
go.
don't do
No.
it. Don't. Please don't.
I don't want to.
Anything else, really.
He was 80 when he was called upon by God to go rescue everybody from Egypt.
Okay.
And then he dies at 120, but we haven't gotten there yet.
So he was 80 when the burning bush thing happened? Did we say that last episode? I feel like we were like, wait, was he 80? Nah, there's no way.
Yeah, because it said when he was fully matured, he ran away.
Which is technically at like 20.
We guessed like 20s.
Yeah.
But then I think we got to like 60 to 80 was like our window.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we were close. But I just wanted to tell you that was we did a good guess.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. We care about this. Fuck you.
We're genuinely trying. Like, goddamn, we're trying so fucking hard.
I don't know why I keep trying to convince them. They're already listening, and if they're on the YouTube, they can see all of the Bibles.
If you've committed to this journey with us, you're just as,
Yeah, why am I getting angry at them?
I don't know. Just because there's got to be somebody you're angry at.
I'm sorry.
And if you get angry at me, we're going to stop doing this. You have to direct it somewhere else.
That's true. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
For making me do this. Quin, I mean, guys.
So they go to the Pharaoh and they're like, hey, we really need to leave Egypt with all the Jews and have a party for God.
God party.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a party.
Yeah.
Okay.
I call it a party throughout the whole thing. That's what it is. They say we need to go to the wilderness and sacrifice things to God. It's God party.
Yeah, that's a God party.
Yeah.
We need to just cut things into pieces and put them on an altar and then burn them so he can jerk off to it.
No, God jerks off to it. You just stand there and cry.
Yes. Okay. Wow. That's a party.
And Pharaoh says, no, you can't go have your party. And then they bring up again that they seriously need to have a 3-day party for God. And if they don't, they'll die. And Pharaoh says, listen, pretty much all you're doing right here is just distracting everybody from their work that they need to be doing. So fuck out of here. Let my people get back to their work, which they need to be doing, because they need to be working. And then Pharaoh goes to the Jews and goes, hey, guys, heard about the party you're planning. You obviously do not have enough stuff to do. So I'm going to need you to continue to make me bricks. Bricks are made of straw and mud, by the way.
That's not a brick.
In Egypt, in this time, that's a brick.
Fair. All right.
If we're gonna get hung up on that, I'll be here a while.
Yeah, yep, you're right.
And so Pharaoh says, you obviously don't have enough to be doing because you're planning parties and shit. So I still need you to make the same amount of bricks you've been making every day. But now we're not going to give you the straw. You have to go get the straw yourselves because obviously you have time to be getting the straw because you're planning parties.
Did Pharaoh just pull, if you have time to lean, you have time to clean?
Yep.
Asshole.
Yeah. No, he's the biggest piece of shit on the planet.
That's awful.
Yeah.
When we went to McDonald's after the last episode because we needed to treat ourselves,
needed to do
it was so
something.
desperate. I saw that on a laminated sign next to the cashier. It said, if you have time to lean, you have time to clean. And I wanted to burn that whole building to the ground.
Yeah.
I felt really bad for that.
I refuse to ever go to that McDonald's
cashier.
now.
Yeah, no, you should. Yeah. Fuck that, man.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
You gotta stand all day, and then it's like if you want to just rest for literally a minute, they're like, no, clean something.
Sorry, I can't.
Go get your own straw.
You need to work for 9 hours a day for $8.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even getting into that because that's a whole different thing.
We got to talk about the Bible, not how corrupt America is.
Yeah.
Shooby dooby doo.
I'm going to read you a quote because it's my favorite quote so far.
Okay.
In this episode. We're chapter 5.
Oh, we're in 5.
Episode. Verse 13.
Okay.
This again is why I like the modern translation because they just say things that they wouldn't have said.
Panted.
Yeah. The slave drivers were brutal. Meet your daily quota of bricks just as you did before, they demanded.
That's fun. That's not how people talk.
Nope. Meet your daily quota of bricks, crack.
Supposed to do 10 bricks every hour. You're at 9.5 and it's been 59 minutes. Crack.
How are you
Okay.
keeping such accurate track?
Crack.
Fair.
That's how.
Jews go to Pharaoh, and the Pharaoh says they're lazy again because they're doing all that shit, and he says that they don't have enough to do, and they're asking for party time, and that's not cool. And Moses goes to God, and he's like, what the fuck, man? Told me this was going to go better than that. You're like, and jerking yourself off.
But he also didn't. He also said that he's going to harden the Pharaoh's heart and make his job impossible. It's going to come back?
Yeah. There is an infuriating reason that God does that.
Is it a God promise reason?
It's worse.
Oh, I'm excited, he said convincingly.
Chapter 6, we're moving right along.
Getting through it.
Yeah. God says to Moses, now you will see what I will do to Pharaoh. So basically, God's got a boner because Pharaoh's being a dickhead. He's like, I get to fuck with this guy. Yes. You have no idea the shit I'm going to fucking do to this motherfucker.
I don't like God.
No, God's an asshole.
God's the worst.
I know. So God says that he's going to make life so shitty for Pharaoh and the people of Egypt that Pharaoh's going to beg the Jews to leave. He's like, he's going to hate having you here so much. He's going to, he's not only just going to let you go, he's going to beg you to go.
Okay. That seems all right.
Yeah. Really quick side note, in this section, there's a lot of asterisks next to the Lord and God and all that different stuff.
Okay.
And I was doing a little bit of looking, and basically in the Hebrew text, in the original version, there is a word for the ultimate word for God, which is Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime in the Christian Bible that it says the Lord, that's Yahweh.
Okay.
In the Torah.
Literal translation,
Yes.
Yahweh is
Yeah.
the Lord. Got it.
But his name is also supposed to carry a significant amount of weight because he is the whole I am what I am thing.
And that's all that I am from Popeye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am who I am, or I am what I will be. What the stuff from last episode when Moses is at the burning bush and he says, how will people believe that you're God? And God says, I am who I am.
Oh, yeah. I want to find that quote, actually.
It's
because
Moses in the burning bush. Chapter 3, verse 14. God replied, I am the one who always is.
Okay.
But the whole I am thing is...
Wait, for what? Which one?
3:14.
3:14. Okay. Which one? Let's see and get an idea. Oh, yeah. So I have so many. Oh, wow. It says right there, God's name. I am who I am. Sovereign God. Blah, blah. This one keeps calling him Jehovah.
Yeah, Jehovah is another. It's all different variations of Yahweh, but that's the whole thing. Yahweh is the ultimate name for God. Like the way the big guy.
You're right. There's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Here. Okay.
So essentially, the concept is that if you know God's true name, you know him at the deepest level.
Okay.
And
like Rumpelstiltskin?
Basically. No. Bible did it first.
Are we sure? Are we sure Rumpelstiltskin isn't God?
No. Rumpelstiltskin's God. So yeah, like if you know his name, you know him at the deepest level.
Okay.
It gets a little hairy later on in the story because there seems to be some confusion in the translation as to whether or not the tribes of Israel knew God's name but didn't understand its weight.
Okay.
Or if they did not know his name at all, and when they heard it, like they got little fucking taint tickles and they were like, oh, holy shit, like this is real.
Okay.
But when Moses goes to the Jews and says, Yahweh has sent me, that's supposed to be like this big, like, oh, like the skies open up, like gigantic moment of like God's revealing himself. And this is absolute proof that the God of Jacob and Abraham is here to finally stop the shit you've been going through for at least 100 years. Mm-hmm. But now he's here to tell you how cool he is and he's going to save you.
Big guys and sheepy key.
Yeah.
Like me, please.
God does the whole God promise thing again. He says he's going to get everybody out soon. He reminds Moses of the promise to Jacob and Abraham. Like that's the first way that he shows that he is the God of Israel, because he's like, I'm the God that made all these promises. I'm Yahweh, blah, 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 all the things. You're going to go to Canaan. You're going to have the special land. Moses goes to the Jews, and they are understandably bummed because of the amount of punishment they've been dealing with for doing nothing.
Sure.
And they don't really want to hear it. So God tells Moses to go back to Pharaoh. And Moses says, well, Pharaoh's not going to listen to me because I suck at talking. We've gone over this. Mm-hmm. Chapter 6, verse 12.
Okay. I'm going to keep the 4 Bible out just because it's got a lot of info in there. But I'm going to switch over to Big Boy, I believe.
That sounds good. I want to, so there's a specific line I'm hoping you're going to find because it's going to be hilarious. But I want you to read chapter 6, verse 12.
Okay. Oh, here it is. And Moses spake before the Lord, saying, Behold, the children of Israel have not hearkened unto me. How then shall Pharaoh hear me, who am of... Fuck you, man. Why would you make me do this? Pharaoh, hear me, who am of uncircumcised lips. Done with Big Boy. I changed my mind. I don't want to. I don't.
It means he's bad at talking. I don't know why that was the phrasing they chose to use.
That means he's bad at talking? I thought he was talking about his foreskin, his lips, of his penis.
No.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
How then shall Pharaoh hear me, who am of uncircumcised lips? I got a lot of asterisks in that sentence, and none of them are on uncircumcised or lips.
Because those 2 words are so clear.
Duh. How could you read that as any other way?
I don't know. Maybe if you were just an idiot.
And there's no way that idiots read the Bible. No.
Only the smartest people.
Only the smartest of the smarts read.
It's always my favorite when you see documentaries or series that are like trying to disprove God or like talk about something that didn't happen in the Bible the way it says. And there's always one person who's like, a lot of scientists believe in God.
All right.
They can be smart in some places and dumb in others.
Yeah. I don't know what you're. You know who else believes in God? Some serial killers. You're not talking about those guys right now, are you?
I'm talking about all of them.
No.
Yeah. So, verse 20 of chapter 6, we get a random fucking breakdown of Moses' lineage for no reason.
You're missing the most important part.
What's that?
6:15 to 6:16.
Okay.
And the sons of Simeon.
Oh, yeah.
And these are the names of the sons of Levi. I'm not going to read the rest of the verses.
No, that's totally, but you should.
all.
You shouldn't.
Simeon and Levi are my boys because it never says they did anything horrible.
So, yeah, Moses is descended from one of their lines, it seems to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think he came from Joseph, and Joseph was their brothers, and it's like that whole, it's just a tree. It's just a fucking...
Yeah. Well, like, he's part of the whole family, but I think Moses is directly in line with Simeon or Levi. One of those two. Like,
we did mention that at some point.
Yeah, we thought maybe that was true, but now we know for sure.
But those verses are just the begat had begat,
right,
begat.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're not even gonna...
And there's another one of those in here. It starts at chapter...
21?
I'm sorry, chapter 6, verse... It's the second half of 14 through 25.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right. Oh,
Yeah.
Mine headlines that with the genealogies of Moses and Aaron.
Yeah.
And then it just 14, up until 25. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just runs through their whole thing.
My favorite part of the Bible is when it does that shit as like, it does it 14 to 25 and then at 26. These are that Aaron and Moses to whom the Lord. It's like, yeah, we get it. You just said, why do you
just said it?
You just said it for like, how many fucking
There's
verses?
a couple times
Shut
in
up.
here that it literally says, like, it'll tell you something that happened, and then the next, I know it's happened before, but it still blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
The next verse will be somebody announcing what has happened.
Behold, Ada, Zillah.
I have killed a youth who attacked me, who wounded me.
Why are you telling us this?
It just seemed like something to do.
Why'd you kill a kid?
Why not?
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't want to get beat.
You
And I don't want your other wife to get
still gonna
beat. Ah, man.
know.
Books suck. Can I be in a different book?
Nope.
I want to be in Bridge to Terabithia.
That makes sense to me, but you're in what you're in. You are what you are.
I am what I am.
All right,
And
God,
that's what
calm down.
Popeye impression.
That was interesting. Verse 20. Mm-hmm. A man named Amram.
Verse 20 and 7?
6.
6. Oh, shit.
We're still on 6 for a minute.
Okay.
Got a couple things to bring up to. Let's just do it.
Just keep an eye on the pronunciations here.
Okay.
It's that I saw that name, and that name's gonna be Jacobin. Jacobin.
Well, we're only talking about Amram because
Okay.
Amram is the only one that the Bible calls out as explicitly fucking his aunt.
Oh.
Marrying and fucking his aunt. Verse 20.
And Amram, this microphone is like almost in my way, but I'm just gonna fucking work with it because I feel like adjusting it.
That's fair.
And Amram took him Jochebed, his father's sister, to wife, and she bare him Aaron and Moses. And the years of the life of Amram were 137 years.
Can I tell you something really fun about that little thing?
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
the stack is just getting bigger.
the Knowledge Bible.
I don't need the introduction to Exodus. All right, we know this is all bullshit. Just get to what I want to get to.
Introduction of Exodus should just talk about the Bob Marley song and album
It should.
because that's way more fun than this.
This is what I was talking about earlier, how it has this annoying undertone of just like, well, obviously this proves that it's real. The fact that Jochebed was Amram's paternal aunt attests to the text historicity. Such a marriage was later prohibited, so it would not have been invented by later storytellers.
Were the invented also in quotes in the book?
Yeah.
Or? That's bold
I know.
for them to put quotes around the word invented.
I know.
They're kind of assholes about it.
They are.
Yeah, he may have like fucked his wife or fucked his aunt, but like it's okay
Oh, I can't
because
believe it. We fucked our hair. You see, I fucked my aunt too, but you don't see write songs about it. Have you heard that song?
no, I don't know what you're doing.
The Lonely Island made a song called "I Fucked My Aunt."
Oh, that's
and I
a lot
listened
of
to it on
fun.
repeat while I read this section. And T-Pain's in it, and it's great.
That sounds delightful.
We'll listen to it when we're done.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he may have fucked his aunt, but like, it's okay.
So let's
why
just really-
would you want to justify that?
Well, so they're not justifying that he did it. That's actually what's annoying about this. So currently, in this story, like historically, it is not socially unacceptable to marry and interbreed with family members.
We've already seen that.
We've
multiple
seen that
times.
multiple times. Later in the book, rules will be made that say that's not okay. You're no longer allowed to marry within your family. You have to marry outside of your family.
Okay.
And that marriage is considered illegal later in the book. So what this is trying to say is that because they wrote that this happened during a time when that would have been illegal, it proves this is real because nobody would have made that up if it was illegal when they wrote it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dive into that.
I think I shall. I think I will. I think someone who wrote that doesn't believe in the fucking Bible. Because here's the thing, I've actually been thinking about this a lot as the idea of faith within itself.
Okay.
Not about faith towards religion,
Sure.
necessarily, but just the purest form of faith.
Yeah.
Is believing in something without having the need to justify it or having the need to. Because I think it was Kierkegaard talked about the leap of faith. How I think he brought it up or invented the term where God does not exist to be explained by science. I think was the way he described what a leap of faith is. Yeah. And if you are trying to justify and pull out all this ass backwards math and legal rhetoric about a book that you believe in, dude, just don't believe in the Bible.
That's the thing too, is like you go through like the amount of websites that I find that are like, okay, let's deal with this gigantic problem by proving it's not a problem.
Yeah.
So many websites.
Yeah.
So many.
And like I get why we're doing this show is because people like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, but you can't cherry pick and then act like you're not cherry picking. But I like talking to people who believe in the Bible, and like I tell them about this show and they're never going to listen to it, which is fine. That's okay. But they go, well, like I tell them about like all this stuff that we're reading about and how I've never heard about it and how I think is ridiculous. And they go, yeah. And I'm like, oh, you think it's ridiculous too? They're like, yeah, I like the nice stuff. I don't like the bad stuff. And I'm like, okay, so you're aware of what you're doing. And they go, yes, I'm aware of what I'm doing. And I don't want to believe in the bad stuff. I want to believe in the good stuff. And I respect that so much more than someone's like, well, you can't count that because it's the Old Testament. But they go, I don't want to count it. It's way different to me. I don't know.
I just have I see what you're saying, and I don't disagree in an aggressive way.
Okay.
But I'm going to try really hard to be like really reasonable about the way I say this because it's a really extreme viewpoint.
It's okay.
But maybe it's not that extreme. People use this as a crutch because they have been taught that you can't be a good person without the rules that are in this book. Like, that's how a lot of religious people are raised. Like, you have to have this book to be a good person.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've heard a lot of people say that without religion, like, the world would just be chaos. Like, you wouldn't have the rule. Like, people will legitimately say, well, like, what's to stop you from murdering people then if you don't have the Bible?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is because the core concept of just not doing things to people you don't want done to you may be in the Bible, but it's just a fine, like, that's a core human thing. Like, I don't fight you because I don't want you to hurt me and I don't want to hurt you. Like, it's just shared
basic
mutual
empathy.
destruction. Yeah. Which just exists as being a human being. And when people say, well, I just want the good stuff, they are still keeping this thing alive that does far more harm than good.
I don't entirely disagree with what you're saying, but I will say part of what you said is untrue in the fact that I don't think it's untrue. I think the people who believe that without this book, we'd be killing and raping each other left and right today in 2019. I think that's incredibly incorrect.
Agreed.
I think that maybe when this book came out, you know,
When it was released,
dropped on a Thursday or some shit.
it's gonna sell so well. They're not worried about those first 3 days. They
Nah.
see the weekend.
Yeah.
Fuck Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, fuck that. We're just gonna drop it on Thursday, get that weekend money in, and then by Tuesday we get to count our money.
Yeah.
No, but when this came out, I think it helped. I think it helped a lot.
Yeah, no, at the time, yes.
Like, because I do the stand up and I know I stand up stuff. Patton Oswalt had that bit about sky eclairs.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, the Bible probably helped people not have rape for breakfast.
Right.
Like, I'm sure that's 100% the case millennia ago.
Yeah.
Millennia ago.
Yeah.
And I think that this should have been dropped within
Just like
the
Greek
next
mythology.
100 to 200 years. Yes, just like Greek mythology. Exactly like that.
Yeah.
Where people say, oh, these stories help me, and I'm going to drop these now that I don't really need them anymore. I have the lessons in my heart where
This
it's
is
like,
life
hey,
training wheels.
yeah. But millennia old, millennia outdated.
And it's hurting you by holding on to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not making you a better person. That doesn't mean that it's making you a bad person necessarily. Because there are people that, like, my mom fucking is obsessed with this book.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a good person.
Mm-hmm.
She's a little wacky, but she's a good person. But this isn't making her better.
Interesting. I like the way you worded that. That was
Yeah.
good. Yeah, no, I understand entirely.
So-
I feel the same way about this as I do, funny enough, I just thought of it, about the U.S. Constitution,
Okay.
where it's supposed to be a living, breathing document with amendments that we add every so often. And like even some of the founding fathers had said, hey, maybe we should like look at this document every 20 years or so and update it for modern times.
Right.
And people treat the Constitution and the Bible, who believe in both of those things, they treat them the exact same.
Yeah.
Where this is the word of some
An
higher power.
infallible, flawless thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it should never be changed.
Yeah.
And I think that is naive and stupid.
Very.
It hurts people. Like what you're saying, like that's where the hurt comes in.
Yeah.
That's when we're starting to hurt people and ignore parts of society.
Right.
And just even like fuck ourselves over. Like you could fuck yourself over hardcore if you take the word of a horny stoner that Ben Franklin wrote fucking 300 years ago. And like, imagine if like honest to God, like I'm not fucking kidding.
Yeah.
Imagine someone like Ben Franklin wrote parts of this Bible.
Yeah.
Who was just horny, fat, ugly, and stoned.
Yeah.
My friend quoted Ben Franklin the other day, trying to convince me to have sex with a 50-year-old woman, saying, Ben Franklin was right, dude. The weight below the waist is the last thing to go, man. Tight as hell down there. He wrote the Constitution, and some people treat that like it is literally the word of God.
Yeah. No, they do. Do you ever think that maybe it's a good thing that Twitter and Facebook exist and is like tracking all the shit so we can stop believing people are infallible? Because like everybody acts like everybody keeps saying fucking, you know, when the not millennials, whatever the next generation is, the kids that were born like mid 90s and 2000s.
Generation Z.
Okay. It's like, you know, when they're running for president, we're going to be able to see all their Twitter and Facebook shit. Good.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are just going to have embarrassing shit that they're going to be like, yeah, I was 12 and I thought that music video was funny where like I made the sock talk. Like you were 12, whatever. Like that's funny. We all did that. But then also the good shit, like, oh, it turns out you were horrifically racist and you think you can cover that up. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's better. You should know all the shit that people do because, yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, this book just doesn't really help people all that much, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I think if you, I mean, I don't even know how the fuck you could. I'm trying to think of like a better way to present this story to not only younger generations but just like kids in general.
Yeah.
Is like, how the fuck do you do that? How do you present this? I guess alongside with Greek mythology, I think you should honestly do that. Where it's just like, oh yeah, we named our planets after the Roman gods,
right?
And we named kitchen appliances after Christian gods. Like I don't know, like fuck, man.
The Moses stovetop burner.
Honey, making scrambled eggs. Do you have my Moses? Where'd you put my Moses? No, not the Pharaoh, the Moses.
We all know that the Pharaoh is the mixer in this story. Come on, guys, keep up.
I don't need a poach an egg. I need the Moses.
So, yeah, the fact that that dude fucked his aunt proves that all of this happened exactly like the book says.
Science.
All the science. Physics.
Jon Snow fucked his aunt.
He did.
Game of Thrones is real.
I want a dragon so bad.
We all want a dragon. I want to be a dragon. That'd be cool.
That could be a cool team because I just want a dragon.
The dragons in Aragon were the fucking best.
They were.
Where you had like a special relationship with your dragon, you had to communicate telepathically.
Yeah.
But then also once you started doing that, you got superpowers. That's a win-win-win, my dude. You get a dragon and telepathic ability.
I don't know, but like even How to Train Your Dragon was great just because like not only did you have a super best friend dragon, it was also a super best friend dragon that like vaguely looked like you and represented your best qualities.
Yeah, I did like that too.
Oh, so I love that movie.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Toothless is the dumbest fucking name they could have come up with. That.
Oh, it 100% is.
dragon.
I'm still not okay with it.
Like call him Jet.
Yeah.
Jet's cool.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess that was kind of the point is like he was supposed to represent the fact that like that dude was like kind of meant to be a loser, but it didn't matter that he looked unintimidating and sounded uncool. Like I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's not a good, like you don't get stoked to say that name.
Toothless. It's like, plus he's not toothless. He can pull him out and put him back in. It's
I know.
It's like calling Wolverine clawless. It's like, no, that's his only trait.
It's his only thing.
He has two things: Canada and claws.
And healing. Oh God, the can't heal clawless guy's coming.
Ow! Fuck! Jesus Christ, my knuckles hurt so bad. Are you gonna stab me? Eventually, but like, holy fucking shit! Every time it hurts.
Chapter 7.
I'm gonna stop.
Moses says he's bad at talking.
Uncircumcised lips.
Yep. And
Very clear.
God goes, fucking fine. You can just stand there and Aaron will do all the magic. Whatever.
Wait, Moses doesn't even do the magic?
It goes back and forth in the book. Sometimes it says Aaron does it. Sometimes it says Moses does it. But essentially Moses is supposed to be like the conduit of God. And he's just like.
I don't think Aaron's even in the movie The Prince of Egypt.
He's not.
Shit.
I know.
All right.
Fucking whitewashing the Bible.
Ugh.
I don't know if that's what they. I mean, that's what they've done. I don't know if that's what they did in the movie.
And technically in the movie, I think we talked about this last episode.
No, like it's
the brown characters drawn, but they're all voiced by white people, which I said it before, I'm okay with.
it's the least upsetting of a series of upsetting
They
decisions.
put work into it
Yeah.
to make these people look Egyptian.
Yeah.
It's not like the fucking
They didn't just take a picture of Noah or Russell Crowe.
fucking the Christian Bale movie.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, I forgot we were talking about Gods of Egypt because that one really
Yeah.
was so much more ridiculous than the
Yeah.
fucking Christian Bale playing Moses. But it's like, come the fuck on, man.
So, yeah, God says you can go and just stand there, and Aaron's going to do all the work for you. Tell him what I tell you, and then Aaron will say it. So there's no way this can go wrong.
Absolutely not.
Go to Pharaoh, and you're going to tell him to let the people go. And I wrote this in all caps because it's very important because this is what God says. I will stop Pharaoh from letting the people go so that I can do cool magic tricks.
What?
Chapter 7, verse 5.
7:5.
7:5.
I'm gonna try to read this. Which one did I like the most here?
Actually, start at 4. Do 4 and 5.
Okay. I forget which one of these four. Not King James, not Revised Standard.
I think it was living. No, modern language. It was modern language.
Modern language,
Modern
I
language
liked.
was like the easiest to get through.
4 to 5.
Yeah.
But Pharaoh will not listen to you, so I will lay my hand on Egypt, and with severe judgment bring out my armies, my people, the Israelites, out of the land of Egypt. Then the Egyptians shall grow aware that I am the Lord when I stretch out my hand to come on Egypt and to bring out the Israelites from among them.
He said, come on, Egypt.
Come on, Egypt. Oh, I swear that I'll be honest. I'll be coming on your Egyptian titties.
No, so my translation said,
Ooh, is this where Father Stretch My Hands comes from?
maybe.
Kanye, reading the Bible.
Even then, Pharaoh will refuse to listen to you, so I will crush Egypt with a series of disasters, after which I will lead the forces of Israel out with great acts of judgment.
That one sounded way nicer. This one, in Living Bible, it mentions, so it says with a final major disaster.
But the point is, like, he explicitly said he's going to harden Pharaoh's heart, so
Yeah.
then we're going to leave. And then he says, it's so that I can fucking do badass shit. I'm going to show the Egyptians my power. But he knows he won't get to show off his fucking big dick swinging god dick if he doesn't force them to be shittier than they already are.
You said we were going to come back to this.
Yeah.
Now we're back to it.
Yeah.
Now I'm upset.
I know. Because he tortures an entire country.
Of slaves.
Well, the Jews get out of some of it.
Some.
Yeah.
They get tortured too.
We'll get to it.
I don't like when you say that. It's always bad.
It's not as bad as you think, but it just... Yeah.
All right.
Moses was 80, Aaron was 83.
Fuck, man. Like, okay. Like, we talk about this and it's like, God's kind of an asshole, and I don't love saying that. It feels weird growing up Catholic.
And
the way God is written in this book, he comes
kind of
off
a dick.
Oh, he's a huge dick.
he's kind of a dick.
Kind of a dick. Like what? I'm not gonna.
I mean, you might as well. We're here.
We're already here.
We're here.
What, man? What the fuck, man? Come on, man. Shit, man. Fuck, man. Shit. Fuck, man. Shit, man. Fuck, man. Shit. Like, why? Is that I'm gonna harden Pharaoh's heart so he says no to you after you do your magic tricks because I really want to do my magic trick.
No, seriously, like, I feel like we have a good theme going of me being really upset, but actually expressing myself somewhat clearly. So I'm going to continue to try to do that just for this episode. I'll be back to screaming next week, but just this once, I want to watch and edit and be like, I made my point.
Yeah, that's fair.
The only reason that God is continuing to allow his chosen people to remain in slavery is because he wants to make sure that he can show them how cool his magic tricks are. That is a shitty God.
It's a bad God. He got a bad egg.
Like, let's just even pretend that this isn't, like, let's pretend that a God exists. There is a Magic Skyman, but it's not this one.
Right, okay.
That Magic Skyman that exists would look at this and go, that guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, he claims to be loving and want to care. Like, these are his chosen people. He has spent 5 generations trying weirdly poorly and badly to get them to this one piece of land he swears he's going to give them. Like, it's been since Abraham that he's been swearing he's going to give them fucking Canaan filled with milk and honey.
Yeah.
And now they're slaves, and they've been slaves for the last 100+ years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he's saying, like, well, you know, I'm gonna get you out of here soon, but I've got a couple things I want to do to show you how powerful I am. What about freeing us from slavery? That'd be pretty fucking powerful.
Yeah, but like, I got this really cool card trick.
It's 3 of hearts. Okay, move on. We just want to stop being beaten to death.
Did you see how
It was
cool
in
that
my
trick
wallet.
was?
I know. You did the whole thing. I felt it's fine.
You felt it?
Yeah. You're not good at this.
You're dead. I'm just gonna kill you.
You've done that before.
Yeah. We'll do it again. I'm gonna show someone else my magic trick. And until they are impressed, this is legit like a whiny fucking rich child.
No, it is. It really is.
God is a fucking Draco Malfoy, which I know I've said before.
But in a way, too, that kind of fits within the story because the idea is like, I mean, this story was written by people who were just trying to explain the world and its function.
Yeah.
So the world seems unpredictable. The world is unpredictable.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that a god that ran that world would also be unpredictable. So, I mean, I don't know. So they go in and they do the trick, and Aaron throws a staff on the ground and turns into a snake.
It's very funny to me that Moses can't do it because he just gets nervous.
Yeah.
I love that.
I really do like a Woody Allen Moses, just like... I don't know. I just
can't do it. I'm trying.
No matter what I do, like I'm trying my best.
The first time I did it, I threw the stick down on the ground. I threw the stick down on the ground, and instead it becomes a baguette. It's ridiculous. I'm trying my best here, and then when Aaron does it, he throws it down. He gets a serpent, and I'm like, oh, like that's any more impressive. It wasn't a stick. It was a stick. Now it's not a stick. What's the difference? What's the difference?
Well, the difference is Pharaoh's magicians. He has court magicians.
What?
They can do the same trick.
No.
But
magician battle.
But Aaron's snake staff eats their snake staffs.
This is awesome.
It's kind of cool.
This just became really cool.
I know.
Slavery aside, this is awesome.
It's kind of this one little bit. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like how The Prestige is really cool until you realize that Hugh Jackman is just a murderer.
Mass murderer.
Yeah.
But he also killed himself, probably.
Yeah, you never know.
He did not. Yeah, you never really find out if he is a teleported one or the one that goes down.
Well, I think the idea is that it probably was the original at some point because it seems to be a coin toss. That was always my thing. Is like it's definitely not the original. We just don't know when he died.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't think it's the original, but he's the same person,
right?
Who is always willing to make the sacrifice of drowning himself.
Yeah. God, that movie's so good.
Oh, I fucking love that movie. If you haven't seen it, we just ruined the ending for you. Still watch it.
It's a 15-year-old movie.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oof, boy.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. But if you have not seen The Prestige at this point, fuck you.
And if you got confused and you have seen The Illusionist at this point, also fuck you.
The Illusionist was fine.
It was fine, but it's no Prestige.
No, it's no Prestige.
How many movies do you get to see where David Bowie is playing Nikola Tesla?
That's absolutely true.
Top notch. And Andy Serkis is in it.
I know. No, it's great.
Every time that he's in it. And he's got this thick Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
Hey, I saw you at the show last year. How you doing? I'm Andy Serkis. Gollum, that's me. Hey, how's it going?
And Pharaoh, because the magicians can do the trick too, he's like, well, fuck you guys. Like, if they can do the trick, he give a shit. And God goes, well, the Pharaoh's pretty stubborn, so here's a new trick to do for him.
There's got to be a better way.
So he tells Moses and Aaron.
You know what would be a better way is just get God out of the equation.
Right.
Just talk to the Pharaoh.
Yeah. Just chat with him.
Have a talk.
Because this works very quickly. If God didn't interfere, this would work so fast.
There'd be no slaves if God wasn't here.
I know.
There'd be no slaves.
So he tells Moses and Aaron to go down to the river when Moses is there, or I'm sorry, when Pharaoh is there in the morning, because I guess that goes there to bathe or something. I don't know. He's going to be there in the morning. So they tell him to go in the morning because Pharaoh's going to be there. And he says, touch the water with your staff and you're going to turn all of the water in Egypt to blood.
But then we can't drink it. You know how we need water to drink so we can live?
Magic drink.
I really feel like as a pharaoh, as an elected official,
no, it's
as
monarchy.
As a governing force for this whole country of Egypt, maybe don't turn the biggest and closest water supply into blood.
Right, no, that's probably a terrible idea, but this is God, and God doesn't make great ideas. So they meet him in the morning.
Right.
And they're like, let our people go. And he's like, I'm good. I'm washing my balls. And they're like, blood. And the book says that all of the water in Egypt, like everything, this shit in the fucking clay pots, like everything turned into blood.
Holy shit.
But then the book says that the Pharaoh's magicians were also able to do that.
Okay.
But so this is where this is the one place where the Bible kind of like, I know it backtracks on itself a lot, but this is one place where it seems unnecessary. So it explicitly says all of the water in Egypt was turned into blood.
Mm-hmm.
But then the next line says that all the water was foul. The fish in the river died, and the water became so foul the Egyptians couldn't drink it. It's not water; it's blood. So it's just a weird, like, it's a victim of over-explaining. Like when you're trying to get out of trouble, when you're a kid, you keep over-explaining until your parents are like, okay, you didn't meet Hulk Hogan at 7-Eleven. Like, obviously, this is bullshit.
No, I did. I saw him, and he was buying a Snickers bar, but it wasn't a regular one. It was a family size Snickers bar.
Okay,
It was
so the
big
reason we got
one.
into this question,
It was the big
this story,
one.
is because I asked you who broke the coffee mug.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting
I
there.
feel like you're just bad at lying.
No.
I raised
no.
you. I'm bad at lying. I know you're bad at lying.
Stop it. I'm telling you about how I met Hulk Hogan at 7-Eleven.
Also, you're nearly 30. Why do you talk like this?
You know I have a speech impediment.
Yeah, I know. It bothers me every day. This is what happens when you outlaw Planned Parenthood.
But like, let me tell you my story.
I have shit to do.
I didn't break the coffee pot.
Fine, I believe you. Does that end this story?
No, it doesn't
What
sound-
ends this story?
You have to believe me.
I believe you.
It doesn't sound like it.
So,
You have to mean it when you say
oh God. So, yeah, they turn everything into blood,
Right.
but maybe it's just bad water because the book says foul water. But
I got different versions.
yeah,
That are kind of
check it. 7. I found it, then I lost it again. 21.
721. Let's do modern language.
Let's do it.
The fish in the river died, and the Nile stunk so that the Egyptians could not drink from it, and there was blood in the whole Egypt country.
All right. So we'll just go for the sake of the story. We'll
I
say
think yours is just trying to make it softer for.
for a modern audience.
It's like,
but-
oh, it was blood, and then the next chapter, like, but it wasn't that bloody.
Yeah, but it's just like, no, like the point is that it was fucking blood. So they do. Pharaoh isn't particularly impressed because his magicians can do the same trick somehow. And then a week goes by.
I don't like the explanation for that either.
Huh.
22.
Let's hear it.
What is it? But the scribes did the same thing through their secret formula, and the Pharaoh's mind was obstinate. He did not heed them as the Lord said he would. It's just like Moses and Aaron turn all the water to blood, and the Egyptians, and then his magicians are like, the Egyptian magicians. That's fun.
That's fun.
His magicians are just like, yeah, we could do it too. And the Pharaoh's like, oh, I'm not impressed anymore. It's like, no, but you can't. We already did it, and it's still blood. You can't then just be like, oh, watch us. Blood. No, we already did the trick. How could you can't just be like, yeah, I could do that too.
No, but I think that's like, I can't believe I'm defending the Bible. Jesus fucking Christ. But I think that's kind of the point, is that the Pharaoh is going into this just like, I don't believe that your God exists, let alone has any power over anything. And so Moses and Aaron doing a trick that then people that Pharaoh essentially knows are just tricksters replicating. He's just like, these dipshits over here can fucking do it. It's like, why does that make your God special? Like, it's not even a God. That's just you doing a stupid trick. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
I mean, you could.
God should come up with better tricks, or just like
They're coming. 10 plagues, bitch.
there's 10 of them.
10.
I thought there was like 2.
No, 10.
It was like frogs, and then locusts. And
Well, the blood was the first one.
oh. Wow, we're already at number 1.
Yeah, we've already done number 1, yeah.
Shit, okay. But then the fucking guys were like, oh, we could do that too. They didn't even fucking do it. There's already blood. And it says the fish died because the water was foul.
Yeah.
It didn't say, oh, then it turned back to water, and then the scribes or the magicians or what the fuck ever did it too.
Well, see, but that's why it's bad writing. Like, they had fresh water somewhere that didn't get turned into blood, so they would...
Look at this. Cut my arm open. Look at that. I could turn water into blood. It's like, no, that's just blood.
That's just blood.
I know.
I know.
See? Look at all this blood.
Look at all this.
Look at all this blood. Just look at all of it. Look at it.
I ain't a doctor.
Do you guys have any more blood?
Yeah, the whole river is A positive. You're good.
Oh, shit. I'd be negative.
Fuck.
I'm going to try anyway.
I think this pot over here might be O negative. Is that the universal donor?
Let's
find out.
Worth a shot. Give me
They
that
didn't know
clay
about
pot
blood
full of O
types in
negative
Egypt.
blood.
So they go back and they're like, frogs now, bitch.
Okay.
In chapter 4, this is just another, or chapter 8, verse 4, this is just a funny phrasing for me. We don't need to go into it. But the verse says, you will be overwhelmed by frogs.
Book of Exodus, chapter 8, verse 4. You will be overwhelmed by frogs. Not a bad tattoo.
God, not the
bad.
best,
Not the best, but
not bad.
not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Solid B minus.
So the magicians do the same thing again, and Pharaoh's unimpressed. But then later, he calls Moses and Aaron, and he's like, seriously, it's too many goddamn frogs.
Dude, I'm just overwhelmed by these frogs.
And I'm kind of wondering if it's because his magicians are doing all the same tricks, if he's getting like double frogs.
Moses and Aaron just show up and you'll be overwhelmed by frogs. Dong. And then the Pharaoh's like, dude, come on, man, don't do what? There are so many frogs. And his magicians are both like, we can do that too. Frogs. He's like, no, we were already too many. Stop it. Frogs, 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 frogs.
They're just falling from the sky.
Stop it with the frogs. Can you do like, I'll believe in God if you could just make it rain cash. Can you just bring it, and then they'll do it, and then we'll get so much cash, and then I'll believe in God.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know, like Kool-Aid jammers. Can you make it rain Kool-Aid jammers? They're hard to twist off, but my, are they tasty?
So worth the work. Mm-hmm. God damn.
And then you get to chew on the top. It's so satisfying.
It is. It's weird.
I know.
It's weird that it's that.
It's like
that's the good.
Yeah, we're animals.
We are.
'Cause it's just
No,
like
we are.
I need something to chew on.
Yeah. This tastes like it should be food. I need to chew something.
It still has sugar bits on the plastic. Let me just.
So he calls him back, and he's like, seriously, with the frogs, it's enough.
ooh, Action Bible has a frog on it.
Oh, it totally does.
Yee.
I bet. Oh, we should be going through Action Bible. I bet all this shit's in there.
This shit's
It's all that.
What are we
Nobody's
doing?
fucking relatives. Nobody's murdering. This is all in there.
This is the action-y
This
part.
is the actioniest part.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, because this is the part where the angel of death comes to Egypt, and somebody goes, "No,
What?
wait,
What?
help."
What?
That's in there.
What did he talk about?
We'll get there.
Man, all these Egyptians are awfully white.
It's almost like a white person made that book.
Yep.
He's the whitest person. He's even got like a goatee with a little streak down the middle, like he's going gray.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, he's the whitest person.
He's very. Is this? I can't find like the right. Is this not it? Oh, this is still Genesis. Fuck me.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Baby in a basket.
There we go.
Prince on the road. Burn a bush. Dude, that's a fucking burning bush.
Well, that was the point, right?
Your bush is on fire.
There we go. Started there.
Dude, the snake's eating them snakes.
Bloody water.
Dude, look at all this shit.
This is cool. You should not buy this book.
Don't
but
buy it. We already bought it
I'll
for
scan
like,
it and upload it.
it was like $7. Hopefully
much.
you're watching this on YouTube, because if you're not, this is gonna be boring.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, don't turn the page until we get to the next thing. Oh, because no, dude, we
Because we already passed this. We're at the blood. We're at the frogs now.
Yeah. Frogs. People are like, oh no, frogs in my bed.
Eek! My flower is ruined.
Is it, bitch?
Is it, bitch?
There's a frog in it.
It's like
Fucking fine.
Also, this is Bible times. There's no like fucking health code violation.
No.
You're eating whatever you can.
Exactly.
It's just like, I need to eat this flower because.
So Pharaoh says, can you seriously make the frogs go away? And Moses is like, yeah, our God's so powerful. You just tell us when and then we'll make it happen. And for some reason, Pharaoh says, do it tomorrow. It's like clearly wasn't that much of an inconvenience. He's like, I got another 12 hours in me. This is fine.
I need to sleep with some of these frogs first. I like the reporting of this. I don't know if this is like, I don't know how accurate this is to
Probably
a.
not.
The Egyptian women are unable to wash their clothes in the bloody river. Men have to dig wells to find drinking water. Finally, the river is clear again, but still Pharaoh will not listen to Moses' plea, so God sends a different plague. In the streets of the city, ... Frogs! Millions of them! Everywhere! And in Egyptian homes, eek! My flower is ruined! Even in the palace, I can't stand these filthy creatures.
You know what's awesome
Send
about a
for
visual
Moses
medium?
and Aaron.
Not seeing it. So you know what's awesome for a visual medium?
Yeah?
Not seeing it.
Yeah, they saw it before. We held it up for a minute. They're fine now. Here it is. Pause the video. Go fuck yourself. All right. Use your goddamn imagination.
So verse 11 of chapter 8. God destroys all the frogs.
Ooh. They just explode? Or?
Well, they wind up in piles all over the city.
He just kills them?
Just kills them.
Ugh. He's a bet. Put him back in the water.
And then this is the first time in the book, verse 14, that it says Pharaoh hardens his heart and does not explicitly say that God is fucking with him.
Okay.
But we know God's fucking.
I feel bad for the Pharaoh, man.
I do too.
He's just being like manipulated by the Lord.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Oh, there's another one. There's a note, 8:13. Let's look at this. This is another one of those, like, obviously this is really stupid.
What is 8:13 again?
8:13. The Lord did what Moses asked. The frogs died in the houses, in the courtyards, and the fields. So the frogs died.
Mm-hmm.
And the note in this book says, clearly this was a result of the Lord's action. Whether or not environmental circumstances were used is not the point. Because there is, we'll actually get to this. I printed out a very long article that we will skim about how there's scientific explanations for every single plague.
Oh, that sounds actually pretty cool.
It's super cool. But I think this is like trying to head that off at the pass and be like, look, even if there was an environmental explanation, God made it happen. It was obviously God that did that. It just happens that there's a human explanation for it too.
It seems like a waste of ink to write that down.
Huge waste. You believe it or you don't. Fuck off.
Yeah, obviously this guy doesn't. Or he wrote this book because his wife made him.
Maybe. So
if I don't write this book, I don't get head. So
they go back and forth. Pharaoh says yes, and then he says no. So the next plague is gnats. Aaron strikes the dust off his staff, and it turns into gnats. The magicians couldn't repeat that trick, so they was pretty sure it was God. And Pharaoh's like, I don't know. I'm starting to feel less bad for the Pharaoh.
Yeah, I know. Pharaoh's kind of a
sounded
dick.
kind of stupid. Well, he just sounds stupid.
He sounds like a bad Pharaoh.
He just sounds like an idiot.
Yeah.
Then there were flies. But the flies were only in the Egyptian towns and not in Genosha. I think it's Genosha, where the Jews were living. So God's like, see, I prefer these people. I'm not putting flies on them. And then they go back to the Pharaoh, and he says, okay, listen, you can have your fucking party, but you have to do it here in Egypt. And Moses says, no, because the Egyptians will hate that we're having a party here, so you have to let us leave. And then Pharaoh goes, no. And then all the cattle die, but none of the Jewish cattle die.
Okay.
And Pharaoh still says no. So Moses takes soot from a fireplace and throws it in the sky, and that turns into boils. Verse 12 of chapter 9, God makes Pharaoh stubborn so that he won't let the people leave. So he's back fucking with everybody again. In this book, one of the notes is everything is going as God has planned it.
Ugh.
So he's just the biggest piece of shit.
He's an ass. He's just killing and creating and destroying all this bullshit.
Yeah. Verse 15, God says he could have killed everybody whenever he wanted, but he kept them alive to show how cool he was. Like how cool his magic tricks were.
That's not in the book.
9:15.
That's not in the book.
9:15.
That's not in the book.
9:15.
That's not in there.
9:15.
That's not in the book.
9:15.
That's not.
9:15.
I'm not.
9:15.
I genuinely believe. Oh man, this is gonna hurt. I'm gonna read it and it's gonna be there, but I have a hard time believing that it's in here.
It's kind of our theme at this point.
But it's been a while since we've done this exact thing. Like the first 3 episodes were just
we're
all
just
of
nothing
this.
but this.
Like,
Yeah.
what? No. But I gotta. Okay. No. I got
Chapter 9, verse 15. Thanks, chapter 9.
I'm gonna do it in Big Boy because Big Boy just seems so official. Big Boy wouldn't do me wrong. Big Boy has never hurt my feelings, not one time.
It's 15 and 16. I'm sorry. Chapter 9, verse 15 through 16.
For now, I will stretch out my hand, that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. and in very deed
Chapter 9.
for... I'm on chapter 9.
Verse 15 and 16.
Yeah, I'm just in a weird-ass book, dude.
Oh,
Chapter 9.
none of that's even remotely close to what I've got. Okay, go on, sorry.
And in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. That was not easy to read, and I still understood that is exactly what it said. All right, let's try a modern language or something. Because that you could construe that as like, well, no, he didn't mean like that.
No.
For if by now I had stretched out my hand, I could have stricken you and your people with pestilence and destroyed you from the earth. But I have preserved you for this reason, to make you all see my power and publish my name in all the earth. Man, that makes it sound so much worse and less poetic and old-timey. And I'm going to keep y'all alive so I can show you my cool shit and you guys like me.
He doesn't give a shit if people like him. He just wants his name written down.
I could kill you right now, but I want you to talk about me all the time.
He's like Jigsaw.
But Jigsaw, I actually like Jigsaw.
I mean, I like the movies.
Yeah, not in real life. I don't want him to be real.
Objectively, he's a horrific monster.
Legitimately upset by those two fucking verses.
I understand that.
Because
up until now, it's been made out to be like maybe it's possible that the Pharaoh really is a villain, even though if you read the book, you know that it's 100% God's fault that all this shit is happening. But when God specifically says, like, oh, I could have ended this anytime I wanted to, it's like Old Boy. It's just like, oh, I could have ended you anytime I wanted to, but I just wanted to see you suffer.
Yeah. And what sucks, too, is like growing up with this shit. Growing up with this shit. I got introduced to this story. So I watched The Prince of Egypt in Bible school for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And and the Prince of Egypt is just a better retelling of this story.
Yeah.
This is not real.
No.
This story did not happen.
No.
This is horseshit.
Yes.
The Prince of Egypt did not happen.
Nope.
Not a real movie.
Nope.
Not based on true events.
Nope.
Just a good story.
Yes.
Told way better than this.
Yes.
Because the Pharaoh and the Moses were brothers. I don't know if that happens in here.
No, it's not. No.
Not at all.
Aaron's his brother.
Oh, no. Dude, so when Moses got like sent down the river.
Oh, no, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen the movie.
Okay, you've seen the movie. Yeah. And that was
I think my youth group was taken to the theater to see it. I remember seeing it with youth group people. Yeah.
Shit. Wow. So in X-Men Origins Wolverine, Sabretooth and Wolverine being brothers makes sense. I don't like it.
I'm not a fan.
Not,
Yeah.
I'd
But
rather,
yeah, I
I'd
get
rather
it,
not.
yeah.
Moses and Pharaoh being brothers makes the story so much more interesting,
Uh-huh.
and they have a backstory together. They have a relationship. It's established that Moses is more like free spirited, and the Pharaoh is like way more strict and more conservative in his beliefs, and is more stubborn as a person.
Right.
No, really like he talks to God in the bush, and that's the only scene with God. God's
Right.
not always just popping in and out,
Yeah.
talking to Moses. Moses isn't socially awkward and can't get it up in like a.
Well, you see, guys, the thing is that the boils is it's God's fault. It's not fault.
Hey, Moses.
Uh-huh.
Do you want me to take this one?
Uh-huh.
Could I have the staff?
Uh-huh.
Do you want to go sit down?
No, I'm just gonna be here like this.
So I'm gonna turn this staff into a snake.
He's the better one somehow.
You're kind of fucking up my flow, man.
So yeah, God's a gigantic piece of shit.
It's
He's just keeping
what the
people
fuck,
alive.
Man? He's like, oh, it's so bad. How could you believe in this God? How could you believe in this God when there are two verses explicitly stating he could kill people and he won't because he wants to hurt them, which also means he has the power to just free these slaves and he fucking won't because he wants them to learn what it means to be a... And it's just, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
I hate this.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Yeah.
He's a mean God. He's a mean God. And I don't like him. He's a jerk. I want to read a different book, but I also want to understand why people like this, and we're not there yet.
In
So
like 2 years, we're gonna get to something good. I promise.
Oh, it hurts.
We're gonna get to funnier
This is
stuff.
the bedrock of our society, and people think this is okay. It's not okay. Why is this okay? Who said this was okay?
I don't know.
Did you say this was okay?
No.
I'll stab you if you said this was okay. Is this your fault this book exists? Why'd you make me do this? Why was this? You're like, oh, I have an idea for a podcast. You just get drunk and angry and sad on camera. Do you want to do that? And I go, okay. And that was like fun. I'll do that. Sure. This is a good time.
In all seriousness, one last sidebar.
Yeah. I'm just going to just listen to you.
Well, legitimately, the idea for the show, like, we make jokes about stealing ideas and stuff, but it kind of like that episode of bullshit, like, really planted the seed because they went through the verses and they were like, one of the things I harped on in the first episode was something that they harped on that in that bullshit episode when they were like, look, there's obviously and objectively two different times. Like, it tells you the creation of humans and then backtracks and tells you again. Like, it's two different stories. Like, obviously this is not it's not wholly inspired word. It's retconning itself. Like, that's a human thing.
Actively retconning.
And so, like, that kind of planted the seed of, like, let's legitimately just read this book. Like, let's not read the fucking Bible stories version where it just tells you the cool things that God did. And, like, let's look at every line in here because
That's why I bought the
It
4
matters.
Bibles in one, because I really wanted to understand and get a hold of.
Because the thing is, like, this exists to fucking indoctrinate children.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
It has
and that's
fucking
what it was done
Daniel
to.
and the Lions then, because kids think lines are cool.
And yeah.
You want to, like, if it doesn't say Bible stories on it, you want to pick up that fucking book.
Right. And that is the whole point. If you can get kids early, like, it's a fucking cult. It's a goddamn fucking cult. Because if you can get kids fucking early and they fucking buy into it, then they're stuck forever because now you've convinced them and it's always in their fucking heads that there's this thing just fucking over your head watching you and it's judging you and telling you what to do and it's going to set you on fucking fire for the rest of eternity that you can't even fucking process if you don't follow its fucking rules. And the fact of the matter is all of this is bullshit. And if this is a God that's going to... The actual biblical hell is not fire and brimstone. The actual biblical hell is separation from God. That's the punishment. The punishment is eternity away from God. And if this is the God I'm being separated from, regardless of the fact that, yes, later in the book, it does say that God has decided to be different. But fuck you, you stupid piece of shit, Brett Kavanaugh, fucking cunt-shitting asshole. Fuck you. I don't want to be anywhere goddamn near you. If that's my punishment, then good. I hope you send me to hell. I want to go to be away from you. You're a fucking piece of fuck. God damn it.
Rather laugh with the sinners than cry with the saints, my dude. Billy Joel, 1986. The Stranger. I don't know if that last part was accurate, but
I was doing so good.
yeah, it's hard not to get mad at this. It's really hard. Like, I was trying. I did it last episode where I just held it in and you're like, oh man, I really hope.
That was the best rant, though. Like, seriously, it's so good. I've cried several times from laughter. It's the best. It's so good. Like, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but you suffered for the benefit of the people.
I hope so.
You did.
All 11 of our subscribers. It's.
I know.
Yeah.
So then there's going to be hail, and there are a few people that believe there's going to be hail, and it's going to be the worst hail ever. It's going to kill everything, and some people believe it, and they bring their cattle and stuff inside. And then the hail comes, and the hail kills everything that was left outside. And the Jews don't get hailed on because they're special. And then they go back to Pharaoh again, and Pharaoh says, I guess I fucked up, so, like, fix it and make the hail stop, and they do. And then he goes, I changed my mind again. I don't want you to leave. And then God...
This is super annoying.
I know. It's infuriating.
So annoying.
And it's God doing it. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just poorly written.
This is liar liar when it's like the pen is blue and Pharaoh's trying so hard to let these people go and God's just like bitch.
And this is why the movie Prince of Egypt does this shit in one song in monologue form.
Yeah, because it is infuriating.
It looks super cool in the movie. Does not look super cool in the book.
No.
I'm gonna say it. The movie is better than the book.
Yeah. Chapter 10, God calls out again that he specifically made all of Egypt stubborn so that he can do cool magic tricks.
Fuck you, asshole.
Chapter 10, then the Lord said to Moses, return to Pharaoh and again make your demands. I have made him and his officials stubborn so I can continue to display my power by performing miraculous signs among them.
And Moses is not arguing with him at all. He's just like, okay.
He's just like, well, he doesn't want this shit to happen to him. Self-preservation, man.
You could just leave.
I don't think he can.
If you don't like this country, you could just leave.
He also says, you're going to be able to tell your kids about so many cool stories about how awesome I am.
Doesn't sound convincing.
There's 3 days of darkness.
What?
Yeah. No lights. Just dark.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What about fire? I lit a fire.
What about fire? Nope. No light.
Wow.
Nope.
Is it hot?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Is it hot, lightless fire?
I don't know. Doesn't say. I don't think anybody tried to light a fire.
Bible's not answering the right question.
It's not. And then Pharaoh says, fucking Jesus Christ. Okay. You can go, you can have your fucking fire. You can fucking party. Oh, sorry. I skipped something that's not really important. The last time after the hail, Pharaoh said, you can go have your party, but the kids have to stay here. Because like they won't come back if they have the kids. And Moses is like, everybody has to go. And then Pharaoh's like, okay, and then he changes his mind. And then we have the darkness. And then Pharaoh calls Moses again. He's like, okay, you can have your party and all the people can go, but all the animals have to stay here. And he goes, no, we need to have our animals because it's a fucking God boner party. So we have to murder the animals, but we won't know which animals will give God the biggest murder boner until we get there. So we have to take our animals too. And God goes, or Pharaoh says, never mind then, you can't leave. And then, yeah.
I want you guys to see this because I had to see this. I hate this drawing. It's a terrible drawing. I hate it. What are his teeth doing? Teeth don't look like that.
In this book they do.
This book is bad.
So God goes to Moses and he says, hey, I'm going to make the Egyptians like you so they give you all their stuff. And then he says he's going to do the killing the firstborn thing. And God says he's going to harden Pharaoh's heart so that the Jews can't leave because this is the coolest magic trick and he wants to make sure he gets to do this one.
Oh, he's a bully.
11:9.
God is a bully. 11.
Now the Lord had told Moses, Pharaoh will not listen to you, but this will give me the opportunity to do even more mighty miracles in the land of Egypt. Although Moses and Aaron did these miracles in Pharaoh's presence, the Lord hardened his heart so he wouldn't let the Israelites leave the country.
Lord's being a dick. Lord's being a dick. That's all I have to offer. I don't have much. We need to talk about
Like, share, subscribe.
all those.
Instagram, what's up, WNTT, Twitter, what's up, WNTT. If you want to listen to it on Apple Podcast, if you search WNTT, it's the first thing that pops up. Just WNTT.
WNTT.
I don't know what it is on the Google Play Store, but it's on the Google Play Store.
Why not
WNTT.
Titties.
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 Thank you. Goodbye.
See, I can go for the